do not be afraid to reach out to the author of that book and ask him for help.
This is the Unbound Entrepreneur, where we are breaking the chains of the limiting beliefs, doubts, and misconceptions that plague so many aspiring entrepreneurs. And this is your host, Joseph Crawford. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Unbound Entrepreneur. Today, we have a very special guest. His name is Darryl Murphy Sr. And Darryl is a Army veteran turned real estate investor. He currently has gone full cycle with 104 rental units and currently has 42 self-storage units and 104 rental units that are under his belt right now. I want to talk about some of the things that he has faced on his entrepreneurial journey and on his journey as a real estate investor. He is a big believer in both being a mentor to others as well as seeking out mentorship to help grow his own knowledge base. And today we're going to dive into the mind of an investor who has seen the world through many lenses and get some insight into the challenges he has faced and how to overcome them. Darryl, thank you for being with us today. And tell us a little bit about your journey into real estate as well as entrepreneurship.
Sure. So first of all, thanks for having me here. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate just being able to share my journey with your listeners. So just to tell you a little bit about me, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised in Bed-Stuy. Went into the military. From the military, born and raised Bed-Stuy. Got married, 2 children. They're not kids no more though. They grown folk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I went into the military. After the military, I wound up getting out and staying right here in New Jersey. And my real estate journey really started at that time, back in the early 1990s, because I was interested in real estate, but I really didn't know how to get started. But what I was doing, some people may remember this particular individual. His name is Carlton Sheets. That I just aged myself, everyone. I just did. All right. But if you remember Carlton Sheets, that's how I really got started. And then from there, I didn't want to get into the fix and flip scene. It just wasn't for me. But I started learning from there. I wound up getting sick, had to go on hiatus for a while. And also when I first came out the military, I went to nursing school and worked as a nurse. I'm a pediatric burn nurse and everything. So, but from there, I just went on into the real estate realm and got my license. And I'm currently with Keller Williams. I'm in the commercial division, and my specialty is commercial multifamily. That's what I love. That's my passion. And then within the commercial multifamily, I love underwriting. So I coach now and through underwriting and everything. But I'm also a member of the GOB. Let me just finish this up because boy, this is getting long. But
this is your time, man. This is your time.
I'm also a member of the one of the co-founders of the GOB, and I sit on the board. But I also have my own Commercial Multifamily Mastermind, and I also run the Capital Raise. I'm a co-host on the Capital Raise strategy session. I run the Commercial Multifamily Mastermind.
Okay. All right. So
wow, that was a lot.
No. Like I said, I couldn't do you justice as far as like introducing you, man. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody got the full layout, right? Like because you bring a lot of knowledge, right? You bring a lot of knowledge. You bring a lot of experience to the table when we're talking about investing in real estate. And the majority of the people that are actually in the Unbound Entrepreneurs, they're not only looking to be entrepreneurs, they're looking at being in real estate investing for a lot of, obvious reasons, right? So to be able to pick your brain today, hear what you have to say, hear about some of the things that you've gone through. To me, it's gold. I appreciate it. So yeah, this is your time. Let me ask you though, can
Yeah.
you, I can see Commercial Multifamily Masterminds. Like, I am familiar with the GOB and your mastermind. Recently, actually, I think you attended one of my talks on LinkedIn or something, right? And that's how I found you. And the GOB, like, you guys are doing a lot of big things, man. And I think it shows because of the leadership, right? Which is you being one of those. Can you talk about, just give us a little insight as far as to what you guys do in
Thank
these masterminds? Like, how do you help investors and upcoming investors?
Sure. So the GOB network is an educational platform. The purpose of the GOB is to help, aid, assist, support, and even give you the opportunity to 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 get into a commercial multifamily deal, or to help coach you through that commercial multifamily deal. Okay, so we provide education, we provide network, we provide support, we provide even opportunity. So the commercial multifamily mastermind, we specifically discuss underwriting. That's what we do. I have guest speakers come in. We talk about underwriting. Why is it important to know how to underwrite? You know what I'm saying? What it is that you need to be looking for when you're looking at that T12, when you're looking at that rent roll. Okay, those are things that's going to be very important when it comes to underwriting, evaluating these assets. Okay, then on the other side, I co-host with the host the capital raise strategy session. There we bring people and guest speakers to also talk about the importance of capital raising, why it's important, what you need, what systems you may need,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So we provide the education, and it's totally free.
Oh,
It's free.
okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. Pause.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to ask you to say that one more time. So you got education in raising capital. You got education in underwriting, and underwriting is huge. Like, for just in case people don't understand how big that is, right? Underwriting is where the money is either made or lost. Okay, in real estate. So, having someone and I'm not knocking some of the other quote unquote gurus out there, because there's some good educators out there, but there are a lot of gurus out there who are selling things, courses for $100 or even up to thousands of dollars. And in those courses, they never talk about underwriting. They give you some free contracts and
Yep.
and tell you how to make phone calls maybe, but they don't talk about underwriting. And underwriting is the biggest thing in real estate. It doesn't matter if it's single family, it doesn't matter if it's multifamily, it doesn't matter if you're talking commercial. Underwriting is where the money is made and lost, and these guys are actually teaching it for free. So again, I'm gonna say this now, and I'll say it again. uh, Darryl's information is going to be in or around this video. If it's on, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's going to be below the video. Anywhere else, it could be next to the video. But Darryl's information will be in this video and around this video, whatever platform you're using. But definitely keep that in mind. Like, these guys are offering golden information, and they're not charging you for it. So
Yeah.
back to you, Darryl. Sorry about that, man.
No, seriously, we don't charge. No, we have the sessions. Like, for an example, commercial multifamily mastermind, we meet every other Tuesday. The capital raise strategy session meets every Wednesday, right? And we be, listen, that's free information. It's free, and on to help you. That's what it's there for. Yes, we do provide coaching. We do provide mentoring. For a person who want that one-on-one.
Right.
But I'm a strong believer in trying to start out with the zero first before you start having to dish out. You know what I'm saying? That's what I believe. I believe try to get as much as you can with the zero. Then, as you see that you have to grow, because at some point in time, you can't keep doing zero. All
Exactly.
right. You're going to have to start paying someone. But we at the GOB believes that if you're going to start dishing out, 10, 20, $30,000, we believe that you should dish that money out and put it into a deal
Right.
instead of putting it into someone's pocket. Put it into
Absolutely.
a deal. Learn, okay, from experienced people that have already done it, and you can learn from them and keep growing.
Hey, before you go on, and so that being said, you guys, because I think I heard you say it, but like you guys also give opportunities for these people that are trying to learn. Like if, like you said, if they have that 20, 30, 40, $50,000, they have the opportunity to invest next to you to learn while doing. Is that right? Opposed to,
OJT.
okay, okay, all right. So
Oh,
yeah,
for those who don't know what OJT means, that's on the job training.
absolutely. Yeah.
That's back in the, I done aged myself 2 times now.
Hey, I'm right there with you, man. All right, all right. Yeah, no, that's man, this is great. So, I'm when you say something, I just want to make sure that the listeners are getting it, man, because
Right.
you, like I said, there's a lot of resources that you guys are providing. But now let's dive into more in about you, man. Like let's talk about, really, I guess, how you got here. Like because
Right.
we kind of stopped you. So just tell me, like, once you got into real estate, what were some of the things that kind of smacked you in the face that other people are probably going to face too, but nobody's telling them about?
So I'm going to say that one of the things you're going to hear, you can't do it. Um, this is you can't do it. You gotta have money, a lot of money. Yes, you're gonna need some money, but you gotta have a lot of money. But that's just impossible. How you gonna own one of those big old apartment complexes that's 200 and something units? What? It's impossible. Uh, I want to tell your listeners, don't let no one ever tell you what you can't do. All right. God said you can.
Amen.
And as long, and let me back up a little bit because I'm about to, I don't want to get too excited. I get excited when we're talking about real estate. I really do.
Hey, this free space right here, man. This is a
Right.
safe space for your excitement.
So I'm gonna back up just a tad because in my intro, I told you where I was from.
Hmm.
Now, if you know about Brooklyn, New York, Bed-Stuy, back in the day, it was Bed-Stuy, do or die, right? That's where it was back in the day. And I used to live in an apartment building. I used to live in the projects. I grew up in the projects,
Hmm.
right? I never had the slightest notion about owning one. What I knew was my mom paid the rent in them things, right? But it wasn't until later that I realized, uh, you know, when I got into the real estate game and when I got my license, that I started running into uh, investors, but a lot of those investors was into residential, the single family thing.
Right.
Um, it When I got into the commercial, I was like, wait a minute, what? Uh, Commercial? And I was a residential agent, but by me watching these other guys that was in commercial, and I used to talk to them. They used to always say, "Hey, nah, Dad, this is just too expensive for you," and stuff like that. And I'm in my mind, I'm saying, "Wow, these guys know how deep my pocket go."
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? So, so I started, and I'm telling everyone just like this. I started reading. I started reading books on commercial real estate. I started reading books on underwriting. And I'm going to tell y'all something. When you read these books, do not be afraid to reach out to the author of that book.
Mm.
You hear what I'm telling you?
Hold on, say that one more time, because I can honestly say I've never heard that before,
Do
and
not,
I'm not the only one.
I'm serious, do not be afraid to reach out to the author of that book. and ask him for help because I did it, right? There was a book on commercial multifamily, and the book was very instructional. It was not one of those thick books. This was a little thin book, and it was very instructional. It told you exactly what to do. Bam, bam, bam. So after I read the book several times because I wanted to make sure, and it was telling me what to do as for how to get started and then how to underwrite. And it got me into the underwrite. When I started learning the underwrite, it was like, wow, I really got carried away. I email, because a lot of these books, it gives you it gives you either an email address to where you could reach out to either the whoever the author is or whatever, the publisher. And I emailed him, and I said to him, would you coach me? Would you mentor me? I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think the guy was going to respond back. And he said, yeah. I said, well, now I knew the door was open. And let me tell you, so I started, and then from there, I started working with him. Never met the guy. Never once met the guy. He was charging me just a little bit of money. I think it was like maybe $200 a month. And I was like, okay. I would get deals. He would tell me what to do. Now reach out to this broker. Get this, tell him this is what you want, and everything was in the book. He said, follow my book, and I did it. I did that. I got that. I got my my first deal to underwrite. I underwrote the deal. I sent it to him. He said, okay. He said, you're missing steps out of my book. He said, go back to that book and do this, do this, do this. And I went back to, and from there, it just started expanding. I started doing more. I started getting really comfortable with underwriting through this. Now, one of my friends, he knows now that I'm really getting into this with the commercial multifamily, and he says to me, hey, Darryl, there's going to be this guy at the South Jersey RIA, and he's going to be talking about commercial multifamily. I said, what? I was there. And while this guy was talking, man, he was, and I knew the language because I already had the book. I already had my mentor. He was teaching me. This guy here was talking, and I'm like, yo, I understand that. I understand. I was so excited that I was so excited. I signed up for the boot camp, not just one time, y'all. I signed up for this boot camp 3 times. I went to the boot camp once. Then I told my wife, you're going because this thing is hot. She came. Then I went back one more time. Now, you're probably wondering, why in the world would you go 3 times to the boot camp? I'm going to tell you something. The information that, now I paid the first time. I didn't have to pay the second and third time. Okay. So once I became a member, I didn't have to pay the second and third time. But I wanted to go back, one, to reinforce the information, because that's what it's really about. Reinforcement. And in that program, he gives you the opportunity to work as a group to work towards your first deal that you can get to closing on. So that's why I went back 3 times. Okay. But from there, man, I just started reading more books, and I realized that I loved underwriting. And that's when I started digging deeper into underwriting, started taking courses, started reading books, started listening to other underwriters and finding out all the information that I can. And even to this day, if I hear something about underwriting, a course, I'm gonna go check it out because I want to see has something changed? Is something a little different? I'm always looking to advance myself, especially when it comes to underwriting, man.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you this, because I understand. I mean, and I said it already. Underwriting is really important. You said it, and you're one of the few people that voices their love for underwriting. Like any successful real estate investor understands the importance of it, but they don't necessarily love it. Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, what is it about the underwriting that really that perks your ears up and makes you just want to do it, you know?
I have, being the underwriter, you have the inside scoop.
Mm,
I'm gonna tell you,
hmm
there's a lot that you need to know being the underwriter. You must know your market, okay? You must know that market and everything. So you know your market, you know your numbers, you deal closely with the property managers, you start dealing closely with the lenders, you start dealing closely with insurance carriers, insurance people, right?
Right.
And then you start dealing closely with the brokers. Okay. Now that data that they give you, that T12, that rent roll, that information is the key to you buying that property. And as long as you know how to underwrite, you won't overpay,
hmm
you
There it is.
won't underpay.
There it is.
Okay, well, if you underpay, you ain't getting the deal.
Right.
You overpay, you're gonna get the deal, but then down the line, you're gonna run into problems and you're gonna start looking like, oh, I gotta sell. And then here comes Darryl Murphy looking to buy that property, right?
At a discount.
But exactly. But seriously, there's certain things that you have to know. When you go to one of these grocery stores, just let your imagination think. Wait a minute. Profit and loss. Okay. Profit, loss. So how much profit do they need to
hmm
cover all of the employees, all of the electricity? Now convert that into how much profit do you need to pay your property management, to pay this electricity for the common areas, to keep these buildings and apartments running, right?
hmm
How much do you need? What is the market telling you? Because you got to know your market. You got to know the trends. How's the market doing? Is the market going up? Is the market going down? Okay. You can find a deal in any market. And when you get into commercial multifamily, you're going to find out there's a lot of niches. There's,
Yeah.
you don't have to just do one thing. Like I believe in one thing, right? And so I focus on whatever my goals are, and that's what I focus towards, right? So underwriting is important because there's a story, and that's what I should have really started off with, everyone. I should have said to you, there's a story in that T12. There's a story in that rent roll. That's what I should have said to you.
You just
That's
did.
what I said in the beginning.
You just did. Let me ask you, because because of the fact that you are mentoring other people, you get to see a lot. Like because you're mentoring them in the underwriting specifically, you get to see a lot of deals going across the table that maybe the average investor isn't seeing because they're just working on their own deals. What are some of the biggest red flags that you see that maybe the people that you're mentoring or other investors may not see because they don't really specialize in underwriting? Like, what are some of the red flags that you're like, whoa, 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 right? Where somebody else probably would have took the deal.
Right. So I have seen a lot of deals, and I've underwritten a lot. A lot of deals. Some of the things that I look at, um, I believe in my underwrite, we do straight splits. And so what is a straight split? How much is the general partners going to receive? What's the limited partners going to receive? Those are the passive investors. Okay. The limited partners are called passive investors. They don't have an active role. They help you to get the asset. You as the general partner is working. You're working to keep that deal going. You're working, you're managing, you're working with the property manager, you got your asset manager, you're doing all of that. So we do straight splits of 25-75. Sometimes I look at some people do prefs.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at I've seen where they would say they give like let's just say a 8 pref.
Mm-hmm.
But in the underwrite, when I'm looking that first year, there's not enough to cover that pref. Or, so what normally would happen if you don't have enough to cover your pref, then then it accrues, and you have to pay it on the next go round when it's time to pay out. If you have enough to pay that pref, you got to pay the previous pref. You got to pay that previous 7 plus
The next
plus
7.
the next 7. And if you don't even have enough for the next 7, then now that goes to, it starts accumulating higher and higher. And I've questioned some underwritings in reference to that, because say, well, wait a minute, if you don't have enough to pay your pref in the first year, how is it that you're paying? What your goals are with that? Because that can hurt you down the line. So that's a few things. I've also seen people just pay a lot of money. They pay more than what the property is worth. I'm not paying you more. Sorry, it's just not happening. I'm in my underwrite, it tells me that if the property is worth 15 million, I'm gonna offer you 15 million.
15 million.
Okay. I'm not offering you 20. I ain't gonna offer you 25. 15 million. Okay. So I'm a very conservative underwriter. Conservative means when someone says they're a conservative underwriter, yeah, we do believe in there's a risk in everything you do.
Absolutely.
But what you have to do is get educated to minimize that risk of loss. There's still a risk of loss there. Don't ever think that there's not. Because someone tell you that there's no risk, you walk away, you run like hell. You get the heck up out of there. There's always a risk. But we educate ourselves to minimize that risk, to look at trends. Where are things going? Right? When I underwrite, and today's economy is a perfect example, I look at that market. Are the rents in that neighborhood, are they going up? Are they going down? Or are they staying neutral? Right? And so some will in their underwrite, they always think rents are going to go.
Right.
No, rent's going to go up. No, not all the time. There may be a time where you may have to say it's a flat line. Yo, we're not going to raise rents this year. And this market is a perfect example, because there's a lot of properties that are foreclosing. They're going in bankruptcy. So I just want to put that out there. Just underwriting is the story that's being told, and you need to know the story.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. That's gold, people. That's gold.
Yeah.
Underwriting it's the story, and you got to be able to read that story and understand that story. Otherwise, you could be paying too much, and and you can get stuck with something that you can't get rid of. So, and like you said, then you have Darryl Murphy running up behind you, buying that property at a discount, and he's going to make a profit, right? Where you made a loss. So those are definitely things to think about. Darryl, man, I appreciate your time, man. I'm not rushing you off right now, but I would like to know, with the things that you faced and the things that you've seen, can you tell me maybe one major misstep that you made and you could tell us like how we can avoid that?
Yeah. Major missteps. I could definitely tell you that. And I'm glad you brought it up, because a lot of people want to, they want to sugarcoat, man. They want to try to give you the glory side of commercial multifamily. Let me tell you something, everyone. You get into this business, this is not a hobby. It's not something that you say, okay, well, I'm gonna do today, I ain't gonna do tomorrow, right? When you get into this business, you're partnering with people, and I'm going to call it a marriage. You're married to them for whether it's 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, or 10 years. That's a marriage. You're going to go through ups and downs. Okay, you got to work together. I'm also going to tell you. I also want to tell you this, and I'm going to go. I'm going to repeat these words again. This is not a hobby. This is entrepreneurship. This is business. And I'm going to say to you right here, I'm going to ask you this question. I'm asking you now. I'm asking you listeners. What are you willing to give up?
Mm.
What are you willing to give up if you get that deal under contract? What do I mean? What do I mean when I ask that question? Suppose, because he asked me, JW just asked me about I'm not going to say bad side, the learning side. There's nothing bad. And I want to make that clear. There's nothing bad. Everything is learning. Okay. What are you willing to risk? What are you willing to give up? Let's say the property, you have to fire the property manager because he stole from you. Now you don't have one. And you or someone has to go to that property and live there. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to say to your wife, your girlfriend, your children, I have to go to this property and live there for a while? Are you? Because that can happen. I lived there for 7 months. I lived there for 7 months. Are you willing to sacrifice that? Because when you buy these products, you're not just using your money. I'm coming to JW. I'm coming to his family. I'm coming to his friends. I'm coming to everybody. And I'm raising not no $2, $3. I'm raising millions of dollars. You actually think I'm going to walk away and let them people lose their money? No way in the world. No way. No way. No way. So I've had to do that. I've had to move down to the property. I've had to live there. And while I was there, I was leasing it up. I was renovating the property. I was working with my team, right? But I knew I had to do it. Now, why did I have to do it? You said, but I already told you one reason. One is I have people that invested with me. They trust me. When people give you their money, they're trusting you. 50,000, 100,000, and you're raising $3, $5, $10 million. They trust you with their money.
Yes.
Okay. Now you may also have someone like JW. You may need JW because you may not have the net worth. You may not have liquidity. JW may have the net worth and liquidity. He says, hey man, I'll work with you. I'll sign on the loan. Are you really going to walk away and leave JW hanging? Are you? No, I'm not doing that. I will put my own, and I've done it. If I have to put my own money, I will. I'm gonna do everything in my power for that property not to go down.
I heard that. No, that's I think one of the things, because people get caught up, man, like the shiny object syndrome, but they get caught up because a lot of investors out there, they're posting all the beautiful things, right?
Yeah,
Like they're posting the money that they're making, they're posting the trips that they're going on, they're posting all the, their beautiful wife and husband and their kids and the dog and all this stuff, man. But what they don't talk about is they don't talk about, hey, I had to move into one of my properties for 7 months because
yeah,
I had someone steal from me and they left, and that somebody had to manage it, because if they didn't manage it, then we were going to lose this property and all the people that trusted me and invested in me, because those people, they invested in the property, but they really invested in you, you
exactly.
know? And so, and the thing is you had to do what you needed to do to maintain that trust, because even if that property, and I'm a preface everybody, listen to what I'm about to say right now. When you are raising capital, they are investing in you. Sometimes deals go bad, but it's how you handle that deal that will determine if they ever invest in you again.
Thank you.
So the fact that Darryl went and lived in that property and he lived on site and did the work and did more hands-on work that he should have, those investors are going to look at Darryl and say, you know what? Even if this deal went sour, I know that Darryl does everything possible within his power and probably beyond that to make sure that we don't lose our money or I don't lose my money as an investor. So everybody listen to what I'm saying. You have to maintain that trust. And sometimes things go bad, but it's not about the deal going bad. It's about how you handle it. And you can have investors that invest with you on another deal, even right after a deal goes bad, because they're like, no, no, no. I know you you got my best interest in mind. So I'm gonna keep investing with you. Because real investors, they understand deals go bad sometimes. So I just had to say that, man, because that was powerful. That was powerful.
Yeah.
7 months living in your property.
Yeah.
Away from your wife and kids, man. That's
Yeah. 7 months down in Texas. I love and now hey everybody, I was loving it down there in Texas too. Boy, it was nice, that barbecue.
Man, you know what? Now you got me thinking. I think I might eat some barbecue today.
You know, JW, can I say one thing, man?
Yes, sir.
You asked me something early on, and I sort of like went around things. Listen, but I'm not a politician, so if I went around in circles, and JW, if you ask me a question and you feel that you didn't get the answer, I want you to say, "Dad, I didn't really get a good answer on that one. Can you come back?" Because I don't. One thing I don't like, and if you talk to anyone that I've coached or mentored, I don't like you leaving my room still lost.
I heard that.
Okay, but what I just want to say this, because I don't know how much time I have. Don't let no one put limits on you. Okay, no one. Don't let anyone put a limit on you. If you feel that you want to go after 100 units, 200 units, 50 units, or whatever, let it be your choice to go after that. Okay. Now, listen to what I'm going to say. Right. I'm a big believer. I believe in God 100%, all the way. And when I went through that first boot camp, the one thing I didn't tell you that I skipped over, during that boot camp, everyone had to build a criteria. Everyone. And some was going to say, I'm gonna go 5 units, I'm gonna go 10 units, I'm gonna go whatever units, right? So when the coach came to me and he said, Darryl, how many units do you want? What's your criteria? He didn't say, he said, what's your criteria? I said, just like this: 100 to 300 units, $3 to $30 million, 1980 to 2004. I do believe at that time, 1980, yeah, 2004. And I knew my market and where I wanted to. I didn't know my market, but I knew my buildings. I knew what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, during our lunch break, everybody was saying to me, yo, man, don't you think you're going a little bit too big? Don't you think you're going a little bit too big? Now, remember what I said to you, and I've always, I believe this, right? I believe in God, and God didn't put no limit on me, and I ain't putting no limits on myself. And I said to them, I said, when God created me, he didn't put no limits on me. He said, and I said, just like this, he ain't putting no limits on me, and I ain't putting no limits on myself.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I said, if you putting limits on yourself, you're putting limits on your God. That's what I told him. And I'm gonna tell y'all this: my very first property that I got under contract, 204 units in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
I did not close on it. I didn't close on it, but I got under contract. We went through due diligence, and it was during the due diligence that we said, yo, let's back up out of this one. This isn't the right one for us. But don't
Underwriting.
But don't let no one put limitations on you. You seek the help. So if you want 100, 200, then go to JW, go to Darryl, go to someone that has the experience. Say, hey, will you help me with this? And I'm telling you right now, you can make it. But don't let no one put no limits on you.
Darryl, I just want to say again, man, I said at the beginning, thank you for being here with us today. I'm going to say now again, thank you for
No,
being
thank
here
you,
with us
man.
today, man. You brought the heat, right? Like, so I'm going to say it like that. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. In the very near future, if you are okay with it, I want to have you back on the show because I
Sure.
mean, I feel like we barely scratched the surface of the things that you can bring to the listeners here, man. So, like I said, I
Yeah,
definitely want to have you back here again.
for sure.
I'm
For sure.
everybody who's listening. This has been another episode of the
Hey,
Unbound Entrepreneur.
JT,
Oh
can I
no,
say
let me stop.
one more
Go
thing?
for it.
Can I
Go
say
for
this
it.
for one thing? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, go
I
for it, man.
just get a little excited sometimes. But JT, is it all right if we mention that you're going to also come to the capital raise strategy session and speak there?
Yeah. No
Yeah.
problem.
So,
Yeah, go
and
for it.
we said it for what, May 22nd, right?
22nd. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So everyone, JW is going to come to the capital raise strategy session to talk there, and it's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern time. Listen, reach out to JW. I hope he put the link there so y'all can register.
I'll
But
put it in
but
there.
yeah, but he's gonna come and he's gonna be talking about capital raising. So come on over there and listen to him talk about capital raising. We're gonna have him.
Hey, man, you know what? I appreciate that. I didn't, because I don't like to plug myself in my interviews. It's all about you. But I will say this: there will be a link so you guys can reach out to
Great.
Darryl or at least get inside that network for the GOB as well as the Commercial Multifamily Masterminds. You want to be in that network. These guys, like, they know what they're talking about, right? And with Darryl, one thing I've figured out and I've learned really quickly, he's always real. He's never selling, right? It's always like, this is what you do. This is how you do it. Obviously, there's going to be some things that he can't put that much effort into until you decide to request that much, that higher level of learning. But they really give you all the things that you really need to get started. And like he said,
Right.
start with zero, man. Like, don't go out here and pay
Yeah.
$100 for a course, find out it doesn't have anything enough for you,
Nope.
then go pay $500 and find out that doesn't have anything. Start with zero, get your foundation in place, get an understanding, right? And then you'll know when it's time to pay. You'll know,
That's right. You
right?
know.
You'll know.
Yeah.
I've made those mistakes. I've paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to be in masterminds and to be in courses that didn't really offer what I needed. So, and it took me to be able to work with people that had an understanding and were like Darryl, who says, look, this is my passion. This is what I do. And I love helping people. So I'm going to help you get to the level that you need to get to so you can afford to get into those higher masterminds that actually offer the things you need. So I just want to put that out there. His information will be in the description of this video. And again, everybody, thank you. This has been another episode of Unbound Entrepreneur with Darryl Murphy Sr. He brought the heat today. Darryl, we're having you again, okay, on
Okay.
the show very
I'll
soon.
be more than happy to come back.
Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you.
man.
All right.
All right, everyone. Darryl, say bye to everybody.
All right. See y'all later. Come on over to watch JW now.
This is the Unbound Entrepreneur, where we are breaking the chains of the limiting beliefs, doubts, and misconceptions that plague so many aspiring entrepreneurs.